Okay, and then we're going to have Dr. Weng come on and join us. So first we're doing a quick little video.
Man, there are so many good Tai Chi players around the world, isn't there?
Yes, just beautiful. And it makes you want to go out and practice and practice and practice.
Well, I'm looking forward to listening to Dr. Weng.
Yes, Dr. Weng is from California now, and we met at the past Osher conference. Okay. And he is an important figure in the international martial arts community since 1970, when he became the two-time Shua Zhao form. For 4 years, he was the national champion in the Republic of China. Since then, he has dedicated his life to teaching, coaching, and educating the world about China's oldest and most effective martial art, Shua Jiao. To this end, he's established the U.S. Shua Jiao Association with affiliates all over the world. His team won the Paris International Competition in 1992 and achieved silver and bronze team medals in every competition since. In addition to the Shua Jiao, Dr. Weng is a leading instructor of the Chang Tai Chi and the only international certified Sanchuao judge outside of China, and was the first certified International Washu Federation International Washu judge in North and South America. And I have to say, when Cheryl was reading his bio, she called him a Tai Chi pioneer. So, Dr. Weng, we are so happy to have you, and I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. Sobhan, we were lucky to meet last time in Harvard. That I got a chance to come to be invited. It's my big honor, and I want to celebrate, congratulations for this World Tai Chi Qigong Day activity this year. It's been a long history. I'm very impressed. here is a great platform for everybody to share the knowledge, their idea and finding, and receive criticism to improve. So I welcome everybody watch all the activities I've been teaching in the past 50 years and give me more advice. So that let's watch in the tapes and explain the material, but they are all together three parts. Part one are the pushing hand joint operation for drills and application in self-defense. And then part two is landing falls safely with the Tai Chi principle, with the Tai Chi and the cardio Tai Chi, combining aerobic exercise and Tai Chi, and offered as a credit course at Diana College in Cupertino, California, since 2010, year 2010. So finally, we added Qigong, most well-known 8-ball cage. That is all kind of versions, but I add the bell trio with Tai Chi with 8-ball cage to improve your grips and strength and the Qi flow. So please review the following ones. Thank you.
The form demonstration. Part 1, Tai Chi Chuan basic training stances. Number 1, 3 plan, 三平. Number 2, 合握, combined line stance. Part 2, the joint hand operation in Tai Chi Chuan includes the fixed footwork and moving footwork. Number 1, fixed footwork, joint hand operation. Number 2, moving foot, joint hand operation. Starting with fixed footwork, then get into moving footwork. Number 2, moving foot, joint hand operation. There's 2 types of moving foot. This is one of them, 绕步. Type 2 of a moving foot joint hand operation, 活步.
Greetings from Cupertino, the headquarters of Apple Computers and iPhone. My name is Dr. Andy Huang, and on behalf of U.S. Collegiate Tai Chi Federation, we would like to congratulate the World Tai Chi Qigong Day hosting its first online summit. As a public safety commissioner in Cupertino for 10 years, falling among seniors is a public safety crisis. According to World Health Organization, WHO, 37 million seniors were hospitalized each year due to falls, costing over $80 billion in medical intervention. As a licensed Oriental medicine profession, Tai Chi is recognized as a highly effective, low-impact modality for reducing fall risk in elders. Both WHO and CDC, as well as NIH, recommends Tai Chi as an evidence-based studies show it can reduce the frequency of falls by 52%. The core Tai Chi principle for fall prevention is an integrated mind-body discipline, such as awareness of body's soft or hardness, the agility in straight or circular movements, and the flexibility of converting rigid, injury-causing reaction into a safe, continuous response. In the following video, we will have demonstration of neurometric integrated Tai Chi fall mitigation movements, such as falling forward, backward, and sideways.
现在示范跪姿前倒。错误做法，不同高度正确做法。
现在展示后倒，抱头弯腰，蹲姿后倒，抱头。
开始，下一组就是走，哎，你看，抱头，伸腿，对对对。
三。 彦凯，美国国际医药大学太极学院院长，共一套完整的。
Dr. Weng, that was beautiful. And I apologize to you, but as I'm co-hosting, a lot of situations arose during your a video presentation, so I had to handle them. But I love the one from Brazil, and that complements what now, which one was it? Laura Lee Chang and the playfulness of the Tai Chi. And I just love that video from Brazil. I can't wait to watch this again because I want to try that. That really revs up the Chi.
Yeah.
Beautiful videos. And then the young children doing the push hands. I didn't want to interrupt and point that out to everybody, but I want to thank you so very, very much for sharing with us some of the things that your students have done. Do you have any parting words for us? So you have a conference coming up in 2 days, correct?
Well, actually, 27th in Stanford University, I've been invited as a co-host and also speak in an open ceremony to promote this called World Tai Chi Day, like yours, but this one was designated by United Nations, UNESCO. So it is now an official Tai Chi Day set on March 21st from this year on. That is only the first year. You already have 28 years, right?
Yes.
You are the senior.
Yes.
And I hope that all this will help people more interested in learning Tai Chi culture and improve that kind of ability and concept to improve the peace of the world and the happiness of life. Yeah, thank you. And hopefully people can share each other all this knowledge. And if you want to see more of my material, it's on YouTube, Dr. Wong's Congress Wellness channel. I have about 100 tapes that you can enjoy.
Yes, I saw some of those videos on YouTube. And Dr. Weng, your time is so precious and you're such a valuable treasure to us. So I want to thank you sincerely for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep in touch and another Osher conference, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And now, George, we have our wonderful teacher, Fabrice, who is now located in Mexico. So we're going to bring Fabrice on. I see you. I'm so glad you were able to make it with us. He has been teaching Tai Chi Qigong Shibashi since 2012. He's one of 2 Westerners personally authorized by Professor Lin Heng, creator of the system, to organize, promote, and train teachers in the complete system. I met Fabrice at the NQA conference last year. We have another one coming up in September in Denver, and I was just blown away by his presentation and also by his very calming, sparkly energy. So Fabrice, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me to share this practice with everyone. Tai Chi Qigong Shabastra was created by Professor Lin in the late 1970s at the request of the Chinese government and made public in late 79, early 1980s, and became one of the most popular form out there. It spread far and wide. It was promoted by the Chinese government at the time, so it helped the publicity machine behind it. And Professor Lin traveled a lot throughout Southeast Asia to establish different groups for teaching it in Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and other countries in the area. And then from there, it started to spread further out. And so England has a very big community of it. It's a little less known, I believe, in the US, although it's still very popular. If you go online, it's very easy to find it. And when I had the pleasure to meet Professor Lin in 2011, learning directly from him really made a big impact in my own training. So I wish to share some of it with everyone and to help understand a little bit the structure of it. I'll take a simple movement that pretty much everybody will be familiar with, which is cloud hand, and explain a little bit the difference of how it is done in Tai Chi Qigong Shabastra and why. Because Tai Chi Qigong Shabastra is primarily a medical Qigong system, we're not worried about martial application, which allows us to move the arms and maintain the posture a little bit differently. We're not worried about getting hit in the ribs or anything like that, like you would do in a martial context. So we change a little bit the shape, but at the same time, it gives us some space to play with and guide the Qi differently within the body. So in the context of cloud hands, in specifically set 1 of Tai Chi Qigong Shabastra, we have lower part of the body, which is fixed. So we want the knees slightly bent, roughly shoulder width apart, and bending enough to give the pelvis a stability. If my legs are too high and I try to rotate, then my pelvis will be moving. Whereas if I sit into my legs, opening the quads, stabilizing the pelvis, then the rotation from the waist become a lot easier to follow. The lower hand will be resting roughly at the lower dantian height, below the belly button. The upper hand will rise so that we can look through the space of the tiger mouth, almost as if we're framing a picture. And as we gently engage the rotation from the waist, we can circulate as we inhale towards the left, feeling the Qi that's between the hands to be able to roll the ball. And then as we exhale, rotating towards the other side. The sensation in the position is that my upper body is almost not moving, and the core of the movement comes from the rotation of my lower dantian, lower abdomen, and engaging through the waist, expressing itself all the way to the fingers. Rolling the ball, I'll be inhaling as I rotate my body towards the left, feeling the ball rolling in between my hands, exhaling as I'm rotating to the right. We'll do a few repetitions and then we'll add some layers to this. Inhaling left, rolling the ball, exhaling right. Let's do one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. So for those of you who are following us or may not be familiar with holding a posture, you can shake your legs out a little bit in case that started to feel a little tense. The feeling that we're aiming for has multiple layers. The more beginner level is to develop the sensation of the chi between the palms, almost as if we're holding a soft cloud. So if I want to maintain a cloud in that space, if my hands are too far apart, the cloud is just going to float away. If I'm trying to squeeze it, it's going to break out into pieces and walk away. So I want to hold the sensation as if I'm hugging a little fluffy cloud. And my lower hand, as it presses gently towards the direction I'm moving, I want to try to feel that pressure sensation increase inside my upper hand. Using the breath to create a stronger stability inside the lower abdomen, I'll be gently pressing as I'm rotating. And here, the rolling is as if I'm holding a big ball and I want the upper part of the ball to come down while the lower part comes up, and then feel that gentle pressure as I'm rotating towards the other side. Finding this sensation, one arm floating up while the other descend, inhaling as I turn to my left, rolling the ball, exhaling as I'm moving to the right. Now, for those of you who have more development, you may feel that the sensation is not just between your hands, but all the way around you, as if you're dancing surrounded by clouds. And noticing how the whole structure, the big ball that's around you, is also rotating. And through the switch, the change of the arms, there's a nice rising quality that comes up, bringing the sensation from the lower dantian through the spine up into nourishing the brain and the upper dantian, as the shen can express itself through the eyes and outward, and then bringing this quality of the shen back into the lower dantian to nourish the acquired jing. We have this quality of connecting the body and the mind together as we gently move from one side to the other. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling, turning to the left. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. In. And out. And letting our hands return gently to the side of our body, letting the mind drop into our feet, connecting deeply with the ground, and gently rubbing our palms together. Good. Seems we're right on time. Hope you appreciated this little practice, giving you some
Keeping
insight.
on time. We love speakers like you that understand we have time limits. So Fabrice, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
I have 2 websites. The main one for teaching is qigong18.online, 18 with the number 1 and 8, or the general website, which is actually being redone now, so the information is a bit outdated, but qigong18.com. All of my social handle are related to Qigong 18, so you'll recognize my face when you
I've
look
seen
for them.
you on Facebook also.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the last name is P as in Peter, ICHE, And if anybody has any questions about any of our speakers, they can contact George or myself. And I know one person had their hand up for Dr. Weng. I'm so apologetic, I couldn't type you, but if you have a question for any of the speakers, you need to type it in chat. I couldn't respond in chat. But thank you, Fabrice, so much for joining us. I hope I see you again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your day.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so George, next you want to introduce Dr. Joe?
Dr. Joe. I love introducing Dr. Joe. So Dr. Joe is a professor of physical therapy, a doctor of physical therapy, and adjunct professor at Duke University and others. That's in Buffalo, New York. He's also a practicing physical therapist, fifth generation Wu Yi Jiham family system of Qigong. And he's just a very nice man. He's very honest. He's just calm, and I just enjoy. We've been friends for 20 years, some years. Introduced by his professor, now with B. Klein, and that all came about. But I always look forward to his talks. And so, shall we get started? Put that video on.
Video.
There you go. Well, back again with Dr. Joe and Siobhan and myself, and we're doing another episode. And this one's going to be an interesting one because it's all on the brain, and most of us have one. Oh, there's so many places I could go there for humor, but I'm not going to do that now that that's up. Anyway, it's some science coming up and so on. So, Joe, start us off. What is talk about the brain you want?
All right. I guess one place to start is that with normal aging, sometimes people experience cognitive declines where, the memory may not be as great, processing may not be as fast as it used to be, things may not be as automatic as they used to be. And to further take that, some people develop conditions such as Alzheimer's or dementia, or actually cognitive impairment. Studies have shown that no matter what age someone is, that the more you stimulate your brain, the more you're able to kind of keep those connections firing at a good level. And in fact, sometimes reverse some of those cognitive changes. And some of these activities are puzzles, games, and remaining active. Now, they've done studies on people who practice Qigong and Tai Chi, and they've shown that just because they're activities that you have to memorize the movements, so you're stimulating your brain, you have to remember what you're doing, how to move, what comes next. Again, you're stimulating the brain. They've done tests before and after, and they showed that people have improved their cognitive abilities, whether it's someone without any significant past medical history, and even people who have conditions diagnosed such as Alzheimer's and dementia. What they've shown through the practice, through functional MRIs, so what they do is they take MRIs of people's brains who are still alive, and what they show, to oversimplify it, is that areas that are responsible for positive things like memory, positive emotions, thinking, processing, those areas of your brain become more dense, and areas responsible for negative things like negative emotions, like anger, depression, guilt, fear, those areas of the brain actually decrease in density. And what they found was that the areas that are increasing in density are growing connections, improve connections to improve processing, memory, thinking, and all those things. And the areas that are decreasing in density, those connections are starting to fade away. So they're not as strong, not as powerful in someone every day. They've also done studies that show improved coordination from people who practice Tai Chi and Qigong because you're doing movements on both sides of your body. Oftentimes your hands or legs are doing different things. Your right hand's doing one thing and left hand's doing another thing. And then you end up crossing the midline of your body, which again strengthens the connections from your right side of the brain to the left side of your brain. So overall, it's a very gentle exercise, easy on the body, but just through practicing, you're getting your brain stronger.
So that deals with the
hippocampus and the amygdala?
All of it.
Yep. Okay. So I'm thinking about the stress.
Yeah, the hippocampus is definitely responsible for memory and processing, and the amygdala is responsible for fear, anxiety, things like that. They've done studies on people who were naive meditators, meaning they had no practice in meditation at all. And these are college-age students, so these weren't people who were, older adults. And what they found was that the amygdala physically shrunk inside the brain. It's a little pea-sized part of your brain right behind the bridge of your nose. And this area significantly shrunk. And people responded with a lot improved stress management, better emotions, what have you.
And the hippocampus will grow or shrink too, depending
Correct.
on. Oh, awesome. Siobhan.
I was just going to say that Dr. CJ Rhodes is joining us later in the program, and she is a professor and did a study with university students practicing Tai Chi before an exam and those who did not. So she will be sharing those results. And then I just wanted to add anecdotally with my experience with these practices. I came to them, early in life, but then when I was 38, I was very active and taking classes, and I didn't have any kind of physical chronic problem, but I had a very stressful corporate position. I would come into class just so angry, so upset, and after an hour, I would be floating out of the classroom thinking, why was I so upset today? This is nothing. It made such an impact on me that something could so quickly change my emotions, my experience of the day. I mean, that's what happened to me. So I'm just speaking anecdotally about that.
That's I've broken Qigong down into 4 phases. And one is the physical. So you're learning the postures, you get it right. Then once you get that, it's the mental, which is the way you're thinking. Because if you relax with the Qigong, your thinking changes. You're not always. Then the mental aspect, which is your feeling aspect. And then it comes to the spiritual aspect at the end, where it's just, you can go to a place when you, I don't know what I call it. I do it every class. And I do it while I'm doing the Qigong. Anyway, this is a topic for another time. But yeah, it seems to me that the brain, when you can start changing things like this, like the hippocampus and so on, and adjust things that improve your health. And it's been proven, right, Joe? You've got enough research on that?
Yes.
You can measure the amygdala and the
Yes, and then through the practice of, you mentioned, Siobhan, just in the process of one class, you're able to do that. Through the diaphragmatic breathing and the practicing, you're able to slow your body down and shift it to what's called a parasympathetic state, where your breathing takes over, your blood flow changes more to more logical thinking, processing areas of your brain, areas that are less reactive. So you get less stress, less anxiety, less depression, a lot of those negative type of emotions.
And your family will notice.
Yes.
Also, I've had, students, and also from my personal experience, people reacting like, oh, you're not getting upset over this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. It still happens from time to time, but for the most part, it doesn't. It's how ridiculous.
Or if it does, it's a lot shorter lived. Like you're not going on half a day with it. It's like a split second, and then you're like, oh wait, what?
Yeah, this is one of the main things, particularly stress related stuff, is that you can calm down quicker. You develop a habit through the Qigong where the body is just, it gets to a position where you can do 1 or 2 postures, and it's like you're right back after you've done 24, instead of, oh, I got to do 24 to feel better. So anyway, it's all good. And I love it. And one of the things I like about this, and Siobhan, you can comment on this because you teach Qigong and Tai Chi Qigong, is that when I look at the Qigong, now that I'm 72, and I've tried everything along when I was younger and full of vinegar. And then I would say, start telling people, the meridians, they just go all through the body, all hook up to the organs and so on. And you got 5-element theory, it's so good. This is how it works. And I'm getting into all the romantic stuff about Tai Chi, which is a different culture. And I'm told like that, and people, crossing their eyes saying, what is this guy talking about? And they start talking, here's some research. Just try it, be pragmatic. And I've come to realize that I'm pragmatic. I'm going to do it. I'll do it for 30 days. I'll commit for that. And if it works, fine. If not, next. And I know one of the students with the severe arthritis, for the first year, and I read one of her testimonials from back, she says the first year I only did there's 24 postures in our system. I only did the first 8 postures. And sometimes I'd go to bed at night, I forgot to do them, and I'd get up, drag myself out of bed. I never missed a day. And everything changed just with doing those 8 postures, and then she goes on from there. So that's pragmatic. It's not, I don't have to convince you of everything, of anything. This is what people are saying. This is what they're doing. It's what's possible for one is possible for all. So, why don't you give it a try? It's still their little thing, but I go into the meridians after the fact, a little bit by bit, and how they work and how the organs and 5-element theory works. But I try to put it in our culture terms. And
Exactly.
Chi is not in our lexicon. We don't have a word for Chi, so people don't understand it. But I think people will start to come along. Human bodies are human bodies, and if it works for one person, it's going to work for all people. It may be varying degrees, but a lot of that comes into play into how serious people do it. And I had a fellow come to me, one of my students, became one of my instructors, and he's in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I was down in the Erie, and I was doing a weekend workshop, and he was in it. And he came up to me after, he says, listen to me, I just was diagnosed with MS. Will this help me? I said, it'll help. This will help you to the extent that you help yourself. So if you're prepared to do this, then yes, it's going to help you dramatically. So he would drive 2 hours one way from Erie to St. Catharines, 2 hours back, 3 times a week. And this came on. This went up for a couple of years. And he went back for a test, I think it was 2 years later. And he says, what happened? He says, I can't find it. It's gone. There's no evidence of it anywhere. So this is what, matter of fact, I wrote about that in my first book. So yeah, it's up to people. And all we wanted to do is give it a shake. If you think we're nuts, test us. And you'll find out. So anyway, with that, anybody got a closing word? Joe?
I'm good.
You passed good years ago, buddy. You're great.
Oh.
No, it's seriously. So also, I guess we'll all probably meet down in Boston coming up right after this, a few days after this, for the Science of Tai Chi and Qigong at Harvard University at the Osher Clinic. And professors coming from around the world. I'll put a plug in from that. And I think Peter Wade will.
If we need to cut it.
But anyway, we'll meet again down there. So thanks, everybody.
Boy, that guy talks on, doesn't he? Wonder what he had for lunch. Oh, wait, nothing.
So, George,
Yeah.
I think Bill wants to ask a question. And Bill, just hold that thought. We have a couple more videos we want to share on Alzheimer's and caregivers. So I just want to let you know we're on track right now. We're on time. What's your question?
Okay, well, what I just wanted to point out what Dr. Joe was saying so illustrates just how incredibly profound these things are. And, now that we've had a chance, Siobhan, you and I, we've had a chance to talk to some of the leading scientists on the planet Earth on consciousness and what mind body can unleash. And, again and again, it comes to that obvious conclusion. We should be teaching this to public education students all over the planet, shrinking that amygdala, that stress fear part of the brain. How many issues that children have would be solved, right? And then the IQs go up 20% when people meditate regularly. It's beyond comprehension why this isn't in public education all over the world yesterday. You know what I mean? It just keeps bringing us back to that. It's been quite a journey.
Yes, especially now that, schools aren't the safe place that they used to be when we all went to school. So they're under like trauma a lot. The other thing is, Bill, CJ and Marilyn, both of them are doctorates of education, will be coming on to speak about their study with children. And I guess this would be time to very quickly just say Bill's love of his heart now, the new mission, is the Global Transformation Project. And so on that website, you can view our past interviews with cutting edge scientists on what is consciousness, near-death experiences, extraordinary experiences, and they are being researched now by top scientists.
Yeah, and Dr. Rhodes's work, and she's going to Harvard to present on the science of mind-body practices for school-age students.
Yes.
So that's going to be a really important presentation. And that study that she did, she'll talk about it. I don't want to.
She's going to talk about it.
But there was another study that rides on that, and that is that they studied a university swim team. And what they found at the end of the season was that the swim team part that was getting Qigong learning, they had 85% less respiratory infections than the other group did. 85%. All this science is in the Gospel of Science, 2nd edition, which is free all day today on Amazon Kindle ebooks. All day today until midnight tonight, Central Time.
Yes, we've been promoting that. So, Bill, can we move on to the Alzheimer's now? Is that okay?
Yeah. I just want to make sure everybody gets that science because it'll change everything that you see.
We've been repeating it throughout the whole day. I promise you.
Well, if not to do this over and over again for the rest of my life, it's a lost cause, Shalon.
Okay, we gotta go.
And everybody, here today with a couple of students, become friends over the years. They've been coming here a long time. Mr. James Alexander and Wayne Shillington. Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions because you remember this Alzheimer's group that we're all a member of that I teach Qigong. Yeah. And James, you've been here many years, about 8 or so. Anyway, what has been your experience with Alzheimer's?
Well, it's been a wonderful help. At that point, my wife has been sick for some time, and I was looking after her at home until I was literally exhausted.
Yeah.
And before and during COVID, but on the last day was very, or the last year when I couldn't get in anywhere for her to have a long-term care home. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the Alzheimer's really helped. And my wife and I used to go there even way back when there were other leaders. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing that, or I've been doing it now for about 8 years. And it certainly helps me. I'm in close to my 81st year. So I started, as you know, probably quite a ways back in my mid or early 70s. And it's been very good, everything with the Alzheimer's Society, because when I was there with my wife, of course, they gave us, there was a group and we would have a group discussion on how to care as caregivers. And then we would also go downstairs to the rec room and where George would be presenting the Qigong exercises, which I found very helpful, and it's kept my muscles supple all the way until my current age. And my wife and I are both Christians, and I pray that I pray during the sequences that we go through, and it's very comforting to me. George in the introduction mentions that there are different forces in our bodies, and of course Christians believe that God made the world and we have the Holy Spirit in our hearts. So George's presentations help everybody. you can be a non-believer or a believer, and you can trust in what he says. Thank you very much.
Thanks, James. And also, what we found in some research is that caregivers benefit just as much as the patients. And that's not just Alzheimer's, but it's in cancer patients and MS and Parkinson's and so on. All caregivers get benefit from doing this. Mr. Shillington, let me ask you the same question. What has been your experience with Alzheimer's?
Well, I went to Alzheimer's Society of Niagara, I think in September of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling overwhelmed and confused, and they helped me quite a bit, sorted me out. Mm-hmm. And I was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, so it's just I forget a few things. And I worked at their courses, and the one course that's been ongoing is the Qigong, and I think the Qigong has helped me quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I wasn't very limber when I first started, so I think if I hadn't been doing Qigong, I'd probably be pushing a wheelchair, pushing a walker at least, or maybe even be in a wheelchair, because I was having a lot of difficulty just getting out of bed and walking. So, especially in the mornings, and then I'd loosen up a bit. But the Qigong has really helped with my ability to move, my body awareness and stuff. I think that helps quite a bit.
That's great. Well, that's all we got, the time we got today, gentlemen. I do appreciate you coming on. And of course, I'll see you on Thursday in class. And you better be there. And hey, I told you guys how much I love you today. Always remember, peace, love, gratitude, and joy. Forget, let go, and tell somebody you love them. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again. Take care.
Okay, thanks, George. Have a good day.
Thank you. As well. Bye-bye. Well, talk amongst yourselves.